You know, some elections feel like great storms, decided by history or a national mood. But democracy, true democracy, often speaks in a whisper. Today, we're going deep inside the mechanics of a mandate at its most human scale. We're looking at the Tapi constituency not just as a place on a map, but as a living case study in how every single voice truly shapes the future. This is the story of an 82-vote election. So, let's travel to Nagaland. Our story is set right here, in the Mon district, the home of the Kanyak Naga tribe. Now, this is a place where politics isn't some distant game you watch on TV. No, it's woven into the very fabric of daily life. It's a place of incredible political engagement, where the conversation between the people and their leaders is constant, it's direct, and it is intense. And right here is the heart of what we're exploring. In a system of millions, how can the entire future of a constituency, I mean everything, hinge on the votes from a single small village or even a neighborhood? That is the central puzzle of Tapi. It's a story about democracy on a razor's edge. So, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll try to understand the soul of Tapi. Then, we're going to dissect that remarkable 82-vote mandate. We'll look at a grievance heat map to see what people are actually asking for. We'll analyze the political machinery at play, lay out a blueprint for governance, and finally, talk about the purpose that has to exist beyond politics. Let's start with the people. The soul of any constituency is its electorate, and this is especially true in Tapi. This is not a place of political apathy. That consistently high voter turnout, it's a powerful signal. It tells you this is a community that pays very close attention, that holds its leaders accountable, and that believes deeply that their vote has real power. So, to get specific, we're talking about the 43 Tapi constituency. It's a seat reserved for scheduled tribes, located in Mon district, the land of the Konyak Nagas. And that historical turnout, consistently between 90 and 98%, that's not just a statistic. It's a testament to an electorate that sees its democratic duty as a core part of its identity. And that brings us right to the event at the heart of our analysis, the 2023 election. The outcome was so incredibly narrow that it forces all of us to rethink the real weight of a single vote. This wasn't just another election, it was a political photo finish. So let's trace the numbers together. It all begins with the total electorate, 15,220 people. A relatively small, tight-knit community where, every family is known. Now, of those 15,000 people, an astonishing 14,608 actually came out to cast their vote. That's a turnout of nearly 96%. Think about that. Almost no one stayed home. Every single voice demanded to be counted. And that collective voice, well, it was almost perfectly divided. Look at this. The two main candidates were separated by just fractions of a percentage point. The community was split right down the middle in its choice. Which means that everything, the entire result, came down to this one number, 82. The final winning margin. A number so small, it almost feels like chance. But in politics, nothing is chance. This number represents a story, a series of choices made by real people in real villages. To really feel the weight of it, think of it like this. 82 people. That's a classroom full of children. It's a small hamlet on a hillside. It is the critical, defining difference between having a representative fighting for you in the state assembly and having your community's needs fall silent. That's what was at stake. So the big question is, why? Why was it so close? What were those 82 votes really about? To understand that, we have to move beyond the numbers and ask why. We need to look at the real-world, day-to-day issues that were on people's minds. And this data, well, it paints a very clear picture. People's priorities are not abstract at all. At the very top, with critical intensity, is unemployment and the need for jobs. Right behind it, you see the poor state of roads and deep concerns about corruption. These are the things that define daily life. So you see, this election was fought on the basics. It was about a livelihood for your children. It was about a road that doesn't wash away in the monsoon. It was about a reliable supply of electricity in your home. These aren't just talking points. They are fundamental to a life of dignity. And this connects to a much deeper constitutional promise, the dignity of every citizen. When people voice their grievances about jobs and roads, they are participating in informed public speech. It's a powerful reminder that their trust and their personal data must always be handled with the utmost respect for their privacy and with their consent. Okay, so we understand what the people need. Now let's turn to the political organizations that were competing for their trust. An election is a contest of ideas, yes, but it's also a contest of machinery. Let's look at the two main forces here, the opposition NPF and the ruling NDA alliance. This comparison shows you the strategic battlefield. The NPF's great strength is its deep tribal roots and local goodwill. The NDA's strength is its direct access to government resources and big development projects. But each has a weakness. The NPF is seen as weaker on actually delivering governance, and the NDA struggles with the perception that it lacks a truly authentic connection to local tribal concerns. And this neck-and-neck race didn't just happen in a vacuum. The history of Tapia shows a very clear pattern. After some early dominance by the Congress, the NPF became the major force. But look closely at 2018. A four-way split meant the NPF could win with just 32% of the vote. This history of fragmentation set the stage perfectly for the 82-vote outcome in 2023. Now, to manage a campaign in such a complex environment, you need a framework. You can think of it as a four-front approach, the Chattanooga Doctrine. A campaign has to compete on four fronts at the same time: the electorate, the party organization itself, the public story or narrative, and, of course, the mobilization of resources. So if you break it down, for a party that's challenging the government, the objectives are clear. Electorally, your job is to consolidate that scattered opposition vote. Organizationally, you have to re-energize your workers on the ground. From a narrative perspective, you have to frame the election around the local failures of the ruling party. And with resources, you mobilize local networks, which can often be more powerful than big money. So let's move from analysis to action. How does a political party actually prepare for a contest like this? It requires a methodical plan, a blueprint, not just for winning an election, but for rebuilding trust by addressing the very issues we saw on that grievance heat map. Here's what a 90-day ladder could look like. You start 3 months out. The first month is all about rebuilding your base, updating your understanding of what people are worried about, those jobs, those roads. The second month is about rolling out a targeted message that speaks directly to those needs. And the final month is a crescendo of mobilization, ending with a laser-focused operation to make sure every single one of your supporters actually votes. And of course, today, a key part of this battle is digital. But it's about smart, high-impact tools, segmented WhatsApp groups at the village level for direct communication and to bust myths. Short, authentic video reels showing the candidate on the ground, at the site of a broken road. And a fact-checking team to counter misinformation with visual proof. But we have to be absolutely clear about something. All this machinery, all this strategy, it's just a tool. And the purpose of the tool is not simply to win an election. The real goal is to build a system of responsive governance that truly honors the trust people place in their leaders. A system that's ready to start fixing the roads on day one. And honoring that trust means anchoring every strategy in core democratic values. It means using these tools to articulate what the public wants, not to manipulate them. It means treating voter privacy as a sacred, non-negotiable line. Because the ultimate aim isn't just a win for one party, but a healthier, more dignified democracy for everyone. So let's bring this all full circle. We started with a number, 82. We journeyed through the data, the grievances, the strategies, but now we have to return to the core theme, the profound, incredible power that rests in every single voice. When you strip away all the analysis and the data, you are left with a simple, powerful truth. The fate of a community, the direction of its development, the future of its young people, all of it decided by a margin of 82. If this case study teaches us anything, it is to never, ever doubt that your voice matters. And so this leaves us with a fundamental question. It's not for me to answer, but for all of us to consider. If 82 votes can change the entire course of a constituency, what then is the immense responsibility that comes with every single vote that is cast? If you want to become a people-centric leader and uplift your constituency, get in touch with blueprintstrategies.ai at mgr@blueprintstrategies.ai or call 080-4204-1602. Purpose Beyond Politics.